I'm Father Joe Roesch of the Marian Fathers of the Immaculate Conception. Thank you for joining us as we continue with our year-long journey reading the diary of St. Maria Faustina Kowalska from beginning to end. Today we take up from where we left off, beginning with diary entry number 1804. My preparation for Holy Communion. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, Krakow, January 10th, 1938. My preparation for Holy Communion. Sister Maria Faustina of the Blessed Sacrament, Congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy. The most solemn moment of my life is the moment when I receive Holy Communion. I long for each Holy Communion, and for every Holy Communion I give thanks to the Most Holy Trinity. If the angels were capable of envy, they would envy us for two things. One is the receiving of Holy Communion, and the other is suffering. 1. Today I am preparing myself for your coming as a bride does for the coming of her bridegroom. He is a great Lord, this bridegroom of mine. The heavens cannot contain him. The seraphim who stand closest to him cover their faces and repeat unceasingly, Holy, holy, holy. This great Lord is my bridegroom. It is to him that the choirs sing. It is before him that the thrones bow down. By his splendor the sun is eclipsed, and yet this great Lord is my bridegroom. My heart desist from this profound meditation on how others adore him, for you no longer have time for that, as he is coming and is already at your door. I go out to meet him, and I invite him to the dwelling place of my heart, humbling myself profoundly before his majesty. But the Lord lifts me up from the dust and invites me, as his bride, to sit next to him and to tell him everything that is on my heart. And I, set at ease by his kindness, lean my head on his breast and tell him of everything. In the first place, I tell him things I would never tell to any creature. And then I speak about the needs of the Church, about the souls of poor sinners, and about how much they have need of his mercy. But the time passes quickly. Jesus, I must go to carry out the duties that are awaiting me. Jesus tells me that there is still a moment in which to say farewell. A deep mutual gaze, and we seemingly separate for a while. But in reality, we never do. Our hearts are constantly united. Though outwardly I am distracted by my various duties, the presence of Jesus plunges me constantly in profound recollection. 2. Today, my preparation for the coming of Jesus is brief, but imprinted deeply with vehement love. The presence of God penetrates me and sets aflame my love for him. There are no words. There is only interior understanding. I drown completely in God through love. The Lord approaches the dwelling of my heart. After receiving communion, I have just enough presence of mind to return to my kneeler. At the same time, my soul is completely lost in God, and I no longer know what is going on about me. God gives me an interior knowledge of his divine being. These moments are short, but penetrating. The soul leaves the chapel in profound recollection, and it is not easy to distract it. At such times I touch the ground with only one foot, as it were. No sacrifice throughout such a day is either difficult or burdensome. Every situation evokes a new act of love. 3. Today I invite Jesus to my heart as love. You are love itself. All heaven catches the flame from you and is filled with love. And so my soul covets you as a flower yearns for the sun. Jesus, hasten to my heart, for you see that, as the flower is eager for the sun, so my heart is for you. I open the calyx of my heart to receive your love. When Jesus came to my heart, everything in my soul trembled with life and with warmth. Jesus, take the love from my heart and pour it into your love. Your love, pour into it your love which is burning and radiant, which knows how to bear each sacrifice, which knows how to forget itself completely. Today, my day is marked by sacrifice. This section seems to be a daily journal in which St. Faustina, beginning in January of 1938, the last year of her life, jots down notes on how she prepared for Holy Communion each day and what particular graces she receives through Holy Communion. She doesn't record any dates, she just numbers the entries 1, 2, 3, etc. We can learn from St. Faustina about the importance of preparing our hearts to receive Jesus, our King, in Holy Communion. We shouldn't take his coming to us in Holy Communion for granted, and we shouldn't treat him as a dead object. Faustina calls her reception of Holy Communion the most solemn moment of her life. She says that if the angels were capable of envy, they would envy us the fact that we can receive the Lord in Holy Communion and that we can offer to the Lord our sufferings. Apparently, these are two things that we can do that the angels cannot. So we shouldn't waste these precious opportunities. Faustina writes of preparing her heart to receive the bridegroom who comes. She reminds herself who the bridegroom is, the Lord, whom the heavens cannot contain. The angels closest to him cover their faces because his glory is so blinding. They constantly cry out, "Holy, holy, holy." Faustina writes of humbling herself, but then being treated like a queen. The Lord wants her to share all that is in her heart with him. He loves to be with her. Jesus remains with her throughout the day. On another day, she writes of her preparations being brief, but marked by a profound love. Faustina writes of an exchange of love when Jesus enters her heart. His love transforms her. His love is sacrificial. She wants to offer sacrifices throughout the day to the one that she loves.